Well, the holiday seasons are over. Time to get back to work. I think we're on the Cherokee on this video. Let's see what the list says. What looks easy? Ooh, there's an easy one. Let's do that one. So, this project was supposed to take a day and ended up taking two, spaced out by several weeks just because the winter weather came back while I was waiting for another day to do it. But this section of the video kind of shows what it's like to remove the tint in real time whenever the tint actually wants to agree with you and it comes off in one sheet, which is obviously the best way to do it. This section right here is out of time and out of sync with the rest of the video, just because I wanted to demonstrate how it's supposed to go. This is the only window in the entire truck that went this way. The rest was a fight. But it was easy. This is how it should be if you have good tint that's not sun-baked and purple. This is what it's supposed to be like. During this little sequence, you'll also see that I have the hiccups, and I'm holding my breath in an awkward way to try to make them go away, thinking that the camera was actually on time-lapse when it's not. But anyway, you get to see how much time it actually takes to remove the tint in real time. The last thing you have to do after you remove the tint is you actually have to wash away the excess that it might leave behind. The more you kind of take your patience and take your time and work with it, use the heat gun, the better off of a result you'll get, and you'll have less residue in the end. But it's still a game of patience, realistically. So hope you enjoy this tint removal thing. The rest of it will be much faster, I promise. Okay, we have our stuff, so cue GoPro time lapse. Okay, so we're done with those two. And that's kind of like the difference from the inside. They don't look that bad, but from the outside you can see where they're really bubbled and bad. But we'll just keep on working our way through. Next we're going to get to this window here, which means we have to remove that. And for those wondering about the time lapse and how long it really takes, it's really fast actually. This is a much higher quality tint than what the Comanche had. It pretty much just peels right off, and you just apply heat, get a corner, start peeling, kind of move slow, move the heat around, don't leave it in one spot too long, and it literally comes right off. So let's pull the spare tire out, which has never been out of the vehicle as long as I've owned it, and keep going. Well, no sooner did I say things were going really easy, and I get a window that reminds me that sometimes removing tint can be difficult. It's coming off all chunky like the Comanche did, and leaving back this little stripy section that looks like the decals you'd put on a car in Need for Speed Underground 1. Yeah, you know the game. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and just get all this crap off, and then come back to you guys, and I'll show you how to get this off. It's pretty easy. We'll see you then. Okay, so, for this stuff that gets left behind from time to time, if you have some really bad tint, all you need to do is take some Windex, spray it on there, take your razor blade, and it just comes off in this gooey mess. And you just take a paper towel and come behind it and wipe the little gooeys away. And you do that for the whole thing. So we're going to do that right now. Okay, now it's done. And I'm pretty happy with that. It looks pretty good. Nice and clean. I really like it. Compared to the other side, where instead of being nice and clean, it's nice and purple. So, you know, we'll just keep going. Back to the front on this side, because I need a break from tint that breaks in a million pieces, so I'd like to go to the front where it's easier again. See you up there. Okay, so that's all the side windows. That only leaves one left. The mighty hatch. And I think, based on how deteriorated it is, that this will be the toughest one to deal with. So, let's try to get into it before the sun goes down. Okay, so that's it for the tint. And might I say I'm very happy with the results. Looks like it should. Nice and clean. Back window was very painful to get done, but it's very clean. Everything's back to the way it should be. Alright, let's see what other trouble we can get into. Okay, so let's see what we got. We did the, where's it at? Remove tint. So that's good. So the next easy one I see up here is this one. 4x4 lights. Let's do it. So you might be asking, what do I mean by 4x4 lights? Well, what I'm talking about is in this little section of the dashboard here, when you engage the four-wheel drive, it should illuminate a message here that says four-wheel drive part-time. Obviously it doesn't work because there's no bulb in it because it was never with four-wheel drive from the factory. All the transmission wiring is there now, so it should work, but this is going to be a little bit of an experiment. So let's go ahead and get this all taken apart and go ahead and put the bulb in there and hope that it works. Once you get the bezel off, the next thing you need to do is undo all of the little screws that hold the gauge cluster or binnacle, depending on where you're from, in the actual dashboard, and then you're going to flip it over, and then we'll continue on outside. And now I'm bleeding. Cool. All right, let's go. Okay, so this is what the back side of that little window looks like. Now I've had this check engine light that kind of comes and goes. It only stays on for, 2 seconds. And I just noticed that this clip is really loose and probably has been that way for a long time. So might be that cause of that problem. But the little lights go right there or right there. Yeah, so I'm just going to put 2 in and test it, and we'll see where we are. Okay, in my wild pile of Jeep junk, I found 2 of the little lights. So let's go try this out and hope that it works. Okay, now that you're listening to my favorite sound in the whole world, let's give it a go. Okay. We got neutral. That didn't work. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so let's look. I guess the next step would be to take off the plate and look at where the proper four-wheel drive lights are. Okay, so this is the little plate. Now that there's some light behind it, you can see where the lights are supposed to be. And it's supposed to be the second row and both of them, which they're both in there. So that would mean that there's a wiring gap someplace. Okay, well, that's a bust, unfortunately, for now. But, more troubleshooting to come on that little project. Okay, we move on. just for the record, I did try moving it back and forth a couple times with it in four-wheel drive and still no go. So there's 4, neutral, low, and still nothing. So I don't know. I guess there's some of the wiring needs to be changed. We'll track it down later.